Part 25. The Strongest Assassin in the Server. Author, B.A. Wangshi-san. Chapter 241. It is true that Yechen is full of treasures. In the eyes of outsiders, he is even fatter than the boss. But at the same time, he is much harder to deal with than the average boss. So even when facing a large number of bounty hunters, Yechen still rushed out forcefully. He and Xiaohei both held blood blades, and wherever they passed, blood would be splattered. Then, countless fallen corpses raised blood balls and rushed into Yechen's body to restore his HP. Xiao Hong was even more ferocious, and a tongue of fire could kill more than 10 people in seconds. Yechen is too fierce, every move is an instant kill. And as a thief, his HP is over 3000. And he has a strong blood recovery skill. How can we fight him? Yes, there is also a phoenix pet, any skill can burn more than 10 people to death. I hope readers will remember our domain name Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. The bounty team became more and more frightened as time passed. As time went by, their death toll increased. In this case, the probability of them killing Yechen became lower and lower. This guy is too tough, Yechen is too scary, let's retreat. The bounty captains spoke rationally, and the army began to retreat. But at this time, Yechen found that his sin value exceeded 9,000. It's already more than 9,000. If it reaches 10,000 sins, it will most likely trigger a hidden mission. This is a rare opportunity, let's fight. Yechen has never been a hesitant person. Since he has made up his mind, he immediately chased after the bounty hunters. Yechen is chasing after me, he is a red name, why is he still so arrogant? He has the strength and capital. Don't say anything, just run separately. Boss Yechen, I was wrong, please spare my life, you are now a red name, and your sins are serious. If you like this, you will be doomed and those with ulterior motives will benefit. Yechen held the blood blade in his hand, like a ghost, stepping on blood. Just like the indifferent god of death, he kept harvesting the lives of the sinful bounty hunters in front of him. Just as he chased a line and killed dozens of people in a row, more people had already fled. Yechen didn't care, he returned the same way, turned on the automatic pickup, and cleaned up the spoils. There are still 900 heads to go. Yechen pondered to himself. Old Duck had already returned the iron cannon, which still had 40 points of durability. Adding his cannon, the total durability was 110 points, which was 11 ordinary magic crystal bombs. It was only 900 heads. Just find a crowded place to blow it up, and it would be okay. But he couldn't get over this. If he really did it, he would be notorious. You know, he now represents not only himself, but also the God Killer Alliance. It would be criticized to make things difficult for ordinary players, but it is understandable to deal with hostile forces. But the Hall of Fame has been destroyed, and there is nothing to blow up. As for blowing up the myth, it is not advisable either. Now that the God Killer has just taken over, the relationship with the myth has gradually become subtle. There is no doubt that the two sides must be mortal enemies, and they dream of killing each other. But it is much more difficult than imagined to overthrow a giant guild. If Yechen didn't have a cannon, the God Slayer wouldn't have been able to blow up the Hall of Fame. Even if he had a cannon, the guild would have suffered a lot when he blew up the Hall of Fame. Now, he doesn't have enough cannons in his hands. If he tries to attack the myth, he will definitely suffer. There's no other way. I'll just go around with a red name, lure people into committing crimes, and then execute the judgment of justice. Yechen smiled slightly. It's not a glorious method to lure people into committing crimes. Sometimes, the police want to arrest some criminals, but they don't have evidence, so they occasionally use such methods. In their words, it's, to deal with extraordinary people, you have to use extraordinary methods. And Yechen, now is an extraordinary period, and it's normal to use extraordinary methods occasionally. So, Yechen looked back at the Monastery of Light and left silently. He changed his mind now, but he was not in a hurry. He would get the sin to 10,000 points first. Yechen was a big red name, and he didn't hide. He even deliberately adjusted the light of his equipment, and ran to some popular maps. He's a super famous name, and his equipment is so good that it makes people tremble. Brothers, kill him. We're rich. His chest armor emits a constant golden light. Is it a holy weapon? SB, did you see clearly? This is the real Yechen. So what? With so many of us, are we afraid of him? If we kill him and get a holy weapon, we'll be rich. A holy weapon is equal to your annual salary. You don't want to go? Okay, I'll go. Yechen turned on the light of his equipment, and was suddenly covered by colorful lights of various colors, like a god descending to the earth. When the scattered people in the wild area saw it, their eyes were straight, and they couldn't control themselves at all, tempting people to commit crimes. For a while, countless scattered people rushed towards Yechen with red eyes. At this moment in their eyes, Yechen was no longer Yechen, but a humanoid boss, and good things would drop when he was killed. Hey, it really took the bait. Yechen curled his lips, and he and Xiaohe separated to kill. A skilled person is daring, not to mention that Yechen has a passive resurrection skill that can save his life. Before this skill is forced out, he is fearless. Focus on long-range fire. Focus on fire. What about control? Control it. Call your sister. Go and fight on your own if you dare, don't hide behind and give orders blindly, acting like a captain. The scattered players in the wild area did not form a group, and the battle started, and it instantly became a mess. Everyone held their own opinions, and no one was convinced, which made it convenient for Yechen. Blade Storm. In an instant, Yechen turned into a high-speed rotating battle gyroscope, and Xiaohe also turned into a shadow gyroscope, strangling Yechen separately. Nowadays, Yechen's Blade Storm is not high, only LV4, and it is released at the same time as Xiaohe. It can't strangle people in 1 second, but it can strangle people in 3 seconds. In addition, the Blade Storm produces a strong and rich sword energy around it, which is a natural protective shield. But at this time, the scattered players' eyes lit up, and all kinds of level 30 big moves were thrown out crazily. Although the protective shield is strong, it can also be hit, and although the Blade Storm can move, the speed is only 50%, which is a rare opportunity. Suddenly. Transfer instantly. Xiaohe activated his skills and swapped positions with Yechen. The next moment, all kinds of big moves hit Xiaohe, but it was fine. This Giro can teleport. For a moment, countless people widened their eyes in shock. They couldn't see Xiaohe, so they naturally thought it was some kind of skill of Yechen. Breaking Wuju. Wind Step. Blood Blade. War Cry. When Yechen ended the Blade Storm, he instantly turned on the buff and fiercely rushed into the back row, killing one by one, like chopping melons and vegetables. The Blood Blade is extremely powerful. Not only does it have a damage bonus, but for every cut, Yechen will get 10% of the damage back. In addition, if you kill an enemy, the killer will recover 20%, which is double the blood recovery. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 242. Damn it, his dagger has grown longer. And it's also emitting a blood-red light. It looks so good. The hands are longer, and combined with the skills of a thief, they are even sharper. The damage is high, the burst is sufficient, the blood volume is also high, and there is a blood recovery skill. We are both thieves, why am I not as greedy as him? Remember the domain name of this website, Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. In an instant, All the people screamed in surprise, and their eyes changed when they looked at Ye Chen. Ye Chen is too strong, so strong that he can kill them. As a result, Ye Chen was like an undefeated god of war, killing like crazy, and in a short while, he killed all the individual players in this monster area. Next, Ye Chen began to clean up the loot while waiting for the CD. A few minutes later, he rushed to the next popular leveling point. He also had a super famous name, leaked the brilliance of his equipment, and attracted people to commit crimes. In less than half a day, Ye Chen and Xiao He took Xiao Hong to visit more than 7 popular leveling spots. System: congratulations on completing the hidden mission Call of Hell, gaining 30 million experience points, 60 gold coins, and the title of Abyss Demon *1. Haha, with 10,000 sin points, there really is a hidden mission, the Call of Hell? Wow, the name of this mission is really cool, and the rewards are unprecedentedly generous. Ye Chen burst out laughing. He was about to check the attributes of the new title, but unexpectedly, the broadcast rang. Light Camp broadcast: dear players, please note that for the first time, an abyssal demon with heinous crimes has been born in our camp, Night God. Please be careful when going out to wild areas. If a warrior kills the demon, he will receive a generous gift package *1. The system broadcast blared 3 times over the entire bright camp. Ye Chen was stunned. He didn't expect that while he received a huge reward, he also faced an unprecedented crisis. 6 turned over. Master Ye is worthy of being a professional broadcaster. He can trigger broadcasts at every turn, which is shocking. What should I do? Master Ye is my idol, but that generous gift bag looks so good that I can't help it. Do I really want to take action against my idol? Have a rest. What will happen even if you take action? God Ye can kill you if he farts casually. The newbies in the back row look up to high-end players. All of a sudden, all kinds of naval forces were dispatched, pushing Ye Chen to the forefront again. On the other side, Xinhui also took it seriously. Abyss Demon should be an extremely powerful title. After all, it can trigger camp broadcasts, so it should not be underestimated. Sinless analyzed, similarly, that big gift package must be unimaginably rich. Boss, this is a rare opportunity. Let's kill him. Firstly, we can get a big gift package, and secondly, we can kill Yashin, a super famous person, and destroy his account, Ba Tian said excitedly. Boss, I also agree with Bastian's idea. Now we will directly lead people to attack his base, force him out and kill him, and eliminate future troubles forever. Zhiji Shensha, who had always been silent, couldn't help but persuade. Hearing this, Wuxin took a deep breath, and his long-pressed heart couldn't help but become restless. He has always regarded Ye Chen as a thorn in his flesh and has wanted to get rid of him for a long time, but this is not easy. He has also implemented many plans, such as the initial life and death order, targeting demons and joining forces with Hall of Fame to attack Ye Chen base. But these plans all failed. Now, Ye Chen has even killed the Hall of Fame, successfully brought the God Killer to the top, and has vaguely reached the point where he can compete with the myth. Sinless looks calm on the outside, but in his heart he becomes more and more fearful and anxious. At this time, Ye Chen turned into an abyss demon because of his heinous crimes. The system even issued many rewards to deal with him. This is a huge opportunity. Forbidden fruit, Wushuan, what do you mean? Wuxin turned his head and looked at forbidden fruit and Ao Wushuan. That's right, this Ao Wushuan is the same Ao Wushuan who previously played for the Hall of Fame, and now he has been poached with a huge sum of money. Today's myths include Sunrise, Innocence, Forbidden Fruit, Broken Halberd, Unparalleled, and Overlord. These 5 are the leading figures. Each one has profound strength that ordinary players cannot match. There is no doubt that Xinhui is much more powerful than the Hall of Fame. The most important thing is that people's hearts are very stable. Even if they recruit peripheral players, they will have strict controls. In the Hall of Fame, Ao Wushuan is considered a high-level person and serves as the Hall Master. Unexpectedly, he just came to Xinhui and received the same attention. His status in Xinhui is even slightly higher than that of the Hall Master, second only to the two vice presidents, Guild Innocence and Forbidden Fruit. You know, he was just a newcomer who came by air, but he received such attention. For this, Ao Wushuan was grateful. In any case, being innocent did him a favor and rejuvenated him. Now Zhongzhen asked his opinion again. Although he was excited, he did not dare to neglect, and said quickly, I also think now is a rare opportunity. Our Xinhui is already stronger than their god killers, and now we are going to attack them. Although there will be a certain amount of consumption in the base, if the night god is eliminated and this thorn is removed, then no force in the light camp will be able to threaten us in the future. Well, what Wushuan said is very good, and I agree, Forbidden Fruit said. Okay. Since we all agree, let's get started, Gillen waved his hand and said proudly. By the way, boss, this is a rare opportunity to make meritorious deeds. Do you think we can lead the demon? After all, the old men above all value him very much, Forbidden Fruit said suddenly. As soon as he mentioned the demon, Wuxen's expression suddenly changed, and he said in a deep voice, don't take him. If he is really capable, let him take the position and show us what he has done. If not, let him fend for himself. Forget it. When I retire in a few years, you can still take my place. Compared to the demons, I feel more comfortable leaving the guild to you. On the other side, Yuchen didn't know that the crisis was coming, and he was excitedly checking the properties of the new title. Obviously, the title of Abyss Demon is an advanced title for a murderer. When Yuchen got it, the title of murderer disappeared. Demon of the Abyss, Gold quality. Level 1. HP upper limit add 1000. Strength add 100. Intelligence add 30. Physical strength add 30. Spirit add 30. Agility add 30. Special effect, after killing the target, HP add 30%. Special effect, summons the gates of hell. King Yamo left a message, come on, I have been waiting for you. CIAO, King Yamo left a message. Summon the gate of hell. Yechen gasped, he vaguely knew something about the gate of hell. Hell is actually a special copy for players. How special is it? You can't go in a group, you can only enter alone. However, there are other Abyss Demon level villains in the copy. Not only in the light camp, but also in the Chinese war zone, in hell, you can even meet demon level sinners from other countries. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 243. In other words, hell has no borders. Is one of the largest replicas. Taiwan Novel Network Rightward arrow. Of course, the maximum refers to its nature. As for its map area, although it is very large, it still cannot be called the largest. After all, its threshold is very high, and only sinners of at least the Abyss Demon level are eligible to enter. The high threshold means the number of people is sparse. You must know that someone who can become an Abyss Demon is also quite powerful to a certain extent. In his previous life, Yechen had also heard about hell, but due to his own strength, the information he received was very sparse. For example, before he got the title Demon of the Abyss, he didn't even know how to open the door to hell. In my previous life, I was lucky enough to watch a video about hell recorded by a great god. The video was very short, and to this day, I have forgotten much of the content. Yechen sighed secretly. At that time, he did not think that he would be qualified to enter hell one day, so he did not take a closer look. Looking back now, it's quite a pity. Fortunately, he still remembered a little bit of the content. In hell, the most rubbish monsters are lonely ghosts. Since these lonely souls and wild ghosts have gone to hell, they themselves are also guilty of serious sins. In that video, the master crazily killed the lonely souls and wild ghosts, and he was able to quickly wash away the sin points. Yechen still remembers the title of that video at that time, teaching you to use hell, quickly eradicate your sin points. The entire video is full of an indescribable high-end style. The master didn't say a word, and there wasn't even a single word of textual annotation. Just open the attribute list, and then he kills the lonely ghost, and the sin value slowly decreases. You know, this slowdown is already extremely scary. Just brush monsters and you can reduce the crime value. For famous players, what could be happier than this? Now that I have entered hell and killed the ghosts, I can reduce the sin value. It is much faster than the atonement mission. Yechen smiled slightly and muttered something silently. Click. Following a creepy sound of space shattering, the space in front of Yechen actually shattered. Immediately, endless black mist surged out with a strong evil aura. Kaka. The broken space continued to collapse. Not long after, when the gloomy black fog dispersed, a dark and eerie door slowly appeared. In the center of the door is a lifelike skull that seems to be really alive. The top of the door is covered with sharp teeth of the devil, and countless iron chains extend downward, sealing the door of hell tightly. This is the gate of hell, so evil. Diddy. Suddenly there was the ticking sound of a clock. Yechen followed the sound and saw a red number appearing on the top of the gate of hell. The number keeps changing -59, 58, 57. System, you have summoned the gate of hell, please enter within 1 minute, otherwise the gate of hell will disappear. The next summons will take 1 hour to cool down. How do you open this door? It's sealed with chains. Yechen's balls were in great pain. The master in his previous life had only started recording the video after entering the gate of hell. Powerful attack. Yechen stepped forward despite his awe-inspiring evil aura, and slashed hard on the iron chain. With a clang sound, the dagger collided with the iron chain and produced sparks, but the iron chain did not move at all, let alone be destroyed. Awkward. Yechen's attack failed, and he became even more depressed. He casually touched the skull in the center, and who knew that the skull's eyes lit up with a strange red light, and then the chains automatically spread out. The skull split in half and the gates of hell opened. The door to hell has just been opened, and along with the cold wind, the wailing sounds of lonely ghosts can be heard from inside. Looking at the black space inside the door, Yechen smiled and was about to stride in when he suddenly received a voice from Huo Wu. Yechen, as the president, you are so willful. If you are not careful, you have crossed the limit of a super famous name and become an abyss demon. I really don't know what to say about you. After the voice connection was connected, Huo Wu sighed and said helplessly. Hearing this, Yechen smiled and said, don't worry, I will cleanse you of my sins immediately. How long will it take soon? You know that under such circumstances, Xinhui will attack us at any time, Huo Wu said angrily. Not more than a day, Yechen blinked. Huo Wu originally wanted to say something, but when he heard this, he was immediately discouraged. She knew that Yechen never acted according to the rules. Every time she thought Yechen was about to get into trouble, Yechen was able to reverse the situation. Okay, forget it this time, but you have to remember that you are the president, and you should act more maturely in the future, Huo Wu educated. Yeah, Sister Huo taught me a lesson, I still have something to do here, so hang up first. Yechen chuckled, hung up the call, and then jumped into the dark space inside the door. After a period of dizziness, a system prompt came to Yechen's ears. System, you have discovered hell, Recognition add 100 points. Yachin opened his eyes again and found himself on a bridge with black void on both sides. Young man, why don't you hurry up and be reincarnated? Come on, drink this bowl of hot soup made by me first, so that you can forget the pain and sins of your previous life. Suddenly, an old woman's voice faintly reached Yachin's ears. Yachin was startled and turned around quickly, only to find an old woman holding a bowl of hot soup, looking at him with a smile. Above the old woman's head, two big green characters appeared, Mangpo. What a sin! There is actually Mangpo. Yachen's mouth twitched, and he looked at Mangpo. There was a green name above her head, which meant that Mangpo had no hostility towards him. Then, Yachen's eyes condensed, and he used his recognition to see through Mangpo, and found that they were all question marks. This shows that Mangpo is a very powerful existence in Dream World. Mangpo, I'm not here to reincarnate, I'm an adventurer who went astray in the mortal world, now I come to hell to kill disobedient ghosts and atone for my sins. Seeing Mangpo holding the bowl and handing it to him, Yechen waved his hand and explained quickly. It doesn't matter. Drinking my soup can forget the pain and reduce the sins. Mangpo smiled and still enthusiastically handed the bowl to Yechen. Damn it, I always feel that Mangpo's smile is a bit fake. What on earth is this Mangpo soup? Is there a trap? Yechen scratched his head in annoyance, muttering to himself. No way, he didn't get much information about hell in his previous life, he never dreamed that there would be Mangpo in this game, now he can only rely on himself. Drink it quickly, the soup is getting cold. Seeing that Yechen didn't move for a long time, Mangpo began to urge him, but she still maintained an old smile, looking non-hostile. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 244. Wow, it's so obvious, there must be something wrong with this soup. But if I don't drink it, will she kill me? Looking at Po Meng's smiling face, Yechen's heart sank to the bottom. This is hell. Nothing can be inferred according to common sense. Yechen was in a panic and accidentally caught a glimpse of the black soup in Mangpo's hand. Unexpectedly, he could not discern the information about Mangpo's soup, but he accidentally discerned the information about Mangpo's soup. Mangpo soup, gold quality / consumable. Randomly forget 5 skills, and the sin value is cleared to 0. I'll go. Yechen had a weird look on his face, and his sin points were cleared directly to 0. This was a big temptation for him, but the price was too high. He actually forgot 5 skills at random. Searched Can on Google. It's so random, Yechen can't bear it at all. Mangpo, I still have feelings that I can't let go of in this world, I can't drink this soup of yours. Yechen secretly took a step back and carefully observed Po Meng's expression as he spoke. Well, I won't force you. Of course, if you regret it, you can come to me again at any time. Po Meng showed a disappointed look, and then said something to make Yechen feel relieved a little. There are ghosts on both sides of the bridge. They are all evil. You can slow down your own sins by killing them. Po Meng pointed at her hand. The ghosts in front are very ordinary, while those in the back are fierce ghost. Thank you. Yechen smiled gratefully and ran towards the black mist ahead. Everything is easier first than harder later. Li Gui sounds more awesome. I don't know what will happen if I die in hell. Not long after, Yechen broke out of the black fog and came to a square burning with a sea of black fire. In a certain corner of the square, there were 2 ghosts, one white and one black, standing there. Even Po Meng appeared, and Yechen instantly fell into the drama. The 2 ghosts in front of him were almost the legendary black and white impermanents. Hei Vuchain was seen boiling a hot pot of oil, while Bai Vuchain was holding a whip and beating the ground constantly, intimidating countless wild ghosts in the square. Wild Ghost, Elite. Level 31. HP 9300/9300. Skills, Bite, Ghost Tongue. Resentful Ghost, Elite. Level 31. HP, 8500/8500. Skills, Howl of Fear, Will-o'-the-Wisp. In the square, due to the intimidation of black and white, the resentful ghosts continued to release fearful howls, and the sharp howls were extremely ear-piercing. Yuchen was affected as soon as he walked in. In order to avoid being confused, he knocked out a bottle of chaos resistance potion in advance. Then, he summoned Xiaohong and rushed towards the square. When Yuchen and Xiaohong entered the square, they attracted the attention of countless ghosts, and then countless long tongues and will-o'-wisps burst out crazily. Yuchen activated his overlord body and held on, then activated the blood blade, wind step, and war cry one after another. Swish, brush, brush. -2800. -2976. -2860. Yuchen found the nearest ghost, slashed it several times, and then used a skill to kill it instantly. After killing one, Yuchen continued to pounce on the next one, and Xiaohong was even more powerful, attacking in various groups. In a short time, the two of them killed many ghosts. Yuchen looked at the guild value and found that it was missing a few points. After a little calculation, almost 10 ghosts were killed, and the guild value was reduced by a little. It's cool. If you kill 100,000 ghosts, I will lose my reputation. It should be faster to kill fierce ghosts and even higher level ghosts. Yuchen smiled slightly. He found that he had no experience in killing these ghosts, but some particles flashing red light exploded on the ground. Yuchen picked it up and took a look. Hell's Blood Fragments, purple quality 10 Hell's Blood Fragments can be exchanged for complete Hell's Blood in the hands of black and white. The explosion rate of fragments is not high. Let's accumulate more and then go to black and white Vuchaim to have a look. Yuchen picked up the fragments and continued to swipe at the ghosts. After more than 10 minutes, Yuchen accumulated 100 fragments, which could be exchanged for 10 complete pieces of Hell's Blood. And the blood of Hell can obviously be exchanged for some kind of Hell specialty. Adventurers, if you collect the blood of Hell, you can exchange it with us for the Hell set, Hey Vuchaim said, but any part of the Hell set requires 500 pieces of Hell blood to exchange for it. Hell Leather Jacket, Gold Quality /set. Level 10. Equipment Type, Leather Armor. Physical Defense add 155. Strength add 30. Agility add 10. Set Attributes. 5-piece set, for every 10 points of sin points increase the attack power by 1 point. 7-piece set, attack speed add 10%, movement speed add 10%. 9-piece set. Strength, physical strength, intelligence, spirit add 100. Agility add 50. Light, dark, fire, ice resistance add 100. Level 10 gold suit. Every 10 points of sin points increases the attack power by 1 point. Yuchen looked at the effect of the Hell suit and was extremely shocked. As for the level of the suit, you can spend the blood of Hell to upgrade it. 100 pieces will upgrade it to level 5. Of course, only a suit of the same level will have its effect, by Vuchaim explained. So, wouldn't it require a lot of Hell's blood? There is no doubt that Yuchen is very satisfied with the effect of the Hell suit, including weapons, hats, tops, pants, belts, shoes, rings, bracelets, and necklaces. There are 9 parts in total. Because Yuchen has a black leather coat, he will definitely not get a 9-piece suit, so a 5-piece suit or a 7-piece suit are both great choices. I just don't know if my blacksmithing skills can be used through the back door to directly upgrade the Hell suit. Yuchen thought secretly. That's right, adventurers, only by collecting enough Hell blood can you exchange for a powerful Hell set. Hey Vuchaim said, and you have to know that when your sin value is cleared, you will be sent out of Hell. When your sin value reaches the point again, you can open the door to Hell again, by Vuchaim added. What? Ye Chen was stunned and said, if this is the case, how long will it take to collect a set of hell suits? However, Black and White Vuchain couldn't get rid of his depression at all. Con, I was drunk too, arguing with the NPC about settings. Ye Chen smiled bitterly and shook his head. Adventurer, I wish you good luck, there will be more powerful hellhounds ahead. Hey, Vuchain said, kill the hell dog, and the explosion rate of the hell blood fragments will be higher. Ye Chen nodded and headed towards the Cerberus area ahead. On the other side, within Bayun City, is the Snow Mountain. Wu Wu led a mighty army to the snowy mountains, and then stepped straight into the Snow Village. Not long after, they came to the base of the God's Lair Alliance. They discovered that in front of the base, there were many snow girls, and the Snowfield warriors were holding snow wolves to guard them. It's true, Ye Chen did instigate rebellion against the Snow Queen. Sinless looked gloomy, and then sneered, but no matter how strong the Snow Queen is, she is only a level 28 boss. She is no threat to us now. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 245. Ouch. When the innocent army walked in, Snow Wolf roared and became restless. Just hit him. Sinless waved his big hand, and the army behind him roared and rushed forward. With the dual advantages of level and quantity, they instantly crushed the Snow Girl and other monsters. Suddenly, a sweet singing sound came from behind, and as the singing sounded, a cold wind blew. The Snow Queen is here, Bassian, you lead a group over and kill her quickly. The innocents sent Bassian away, and then led the army to bombard the God Killer's base. God's Lair Alliance, Guild Channel Diddy, base number 1 is under attack and needs immediate support. The warning from the guild rang in the ears of all the members of the God's Lair. The next moment, countless players teleported back and struggled to resist. Brothers! The Xinhui attack is coming. Return to the base quickly to fight. Kill them, Tank's passionate roar sounded in the guild channel. On the other side, in hell, Ye Chen also received an alarm from the guild and immediately narrowed his eyes. Guilty finally couldn't stand it any longer. Ye Chen sneered, he knew that if it was normal, Sinless would not be so reckless. But this time, he became an abyss demon and was rewarded with a large gift package by the system. If you kill him without any guilt, you can get a big gift package, and on the other hand, you can even destroy his account. Eliminate future troubles forever. Under such circumstances, anyone would choose to attack. President, Xinhui's move is obviously aimed at you, just to force you to come out. You must not be fooled. Yes, boss, just leave it to us. Our base has a thick fog formation and we won't lose. That's right, boss, continue to wash away your sins. Leave this to us. For a time, various group leaders spoke on the guild channel, and more ordinary members also typed to reassure Ye Chen that the battle would be left to them. Then please, brothers, hold on. Ye Chen didn't dare to show off. It was really dangerous to go out to fight in his current situation. Snow Village Battlefield. All 5,000 members of the God Killers have arrived, except for Ye Chen and a very few players who have taken leave but are not online. After receiving the news, more peripheral players quickly teleported back to Qinyu City and rushed towards the battlefield. Huo Wu, Tank, Shen Kaijin and other main forces led the army to fight against Xinhui and others, and the war was fierce. Huo Wu, where is your president Ye Chen? Isn't he really a coward and too cowardly to come out? Every time he saw Huo Wu, Wuxin felt like there was a thorn stuck in his heart. He knew that he could only remove the thorn in his heart by destroying Ye Chen first. Haha, why do we need our president to personally take action to deal with you? Tank heard this and sneered. You are not overestimating your capabilities. Do you really think that you can rival my myth by killing Hall of Fame? Now, I will show you the gap. Kill me, veins appeared on Wuxin's face and he roared angrily. As soon as the words fell, the Xinhui groups rushed out. At the same time, Tank and Huowu looked at each other and activated the thick fog formation. The dense fog circle can only be opened by the president and vice president by default. But the tank has been authorized by Ye Chen, and he is also qualified to open it. The next moment, a huge white magic circle popped up from the base, and countless thick smoke came out, reducing the vision of the Xinhui people to 1 to 2 yards. To the Godslayers, these dense fogs were translucent and did not hinder them at all. Brothers, the thick fog formation lasts for 10 minutes. Let's fight quickly, Tank roared, transformed into a dark wolf, raised his shield and charged forward with his teammates behind him. Humph. A quick decision? It's ridiculous. The same method can be effective against my innocence. Do you think it can be effective again? Sinless laughed wildly, his body full of domineering energy, and he immediately waved his hand. Wind God team, take action. As soon as Gillen's words fell, a group of 5 thieves stepped forward in the thick fog and took out a large diameter bag. Then, the bag produced powerful suction. As a result, the surrounding fog was dense, and the madness was absorbed into it. Wind God bag. In just a few seconds, the surrounding dense fog became visibly thinner. Seeing this, Huowu, Tank and others gasped. They didn't expect that Wushan had already found a way to break the dense fog formation. Haha, do you see the gap? Killing a rubbish guild like Hall of Fame has made you so swollen, with such a psychological quality, you still want to be an enemy of our Xinhui. Ba Tian rushed to the front, his body shining with golden light. The light is like the god of war. He looked at the horrified expressions on Tank and the others' faces, and immediately sneered. As these few seconds passed, the wind god bag inhaled more clouds and mist, making the clouds and mist in the array thinner and thinner. As a result, the field of vision of Xinhui and others increased. It's time. Since Ye Shen doesn't dare to come out, then we'll blow up their base in one wave. Wu Wu sneered and strode out with a long sword. I felt quite sorry that Ye Chen didn't show up. However, destroying the base and disbanding the god killers would also greatly weaken Ye Chen's strength. Not good. Tank's face was dripping with cold sweat, and his heart was trembling. Sinless came well prepared, with an army of 30,000 men, but the Godslayers' side only had 5,000 men, and they couldn't hold it at all. Abandon this base, Tank. Let's notify the peripheral members to defend the second base, Huowu said, feeling something was not good in his heart. This is not good, it is her intuition formed from many years of experience. Maybe the god killer really can't hold on this time. Kindness. Tank nodded quickly, contacted Shita quickly, and said anxiously, brother, don't come to Suican, we can't defend it. Go to Luhi town, Longyang city, and guard our second base. Tank said so, and the various god slayers also contacted peripheral members to request resources from Luhi town. What? Panic. Panic now, what will you do when the guild disbands? Looking at the chaotic god slayer team in front of him, Wuzui couldn't help but sneered and said, ha, to tell you the truth, I knew that you have a new base in Luhi town. Just when we attacked here, I sent another army to Luhi town. It's just that we arrived earlier. Hiss. Hearing this, everyone in the God Slayer alliance took a breath and their hearts sank completely. So this is the myth, the third place in the top 10 guilds in the Chinese theater. It is indeed far from comparable to the lonely Hall of Fame. Their president Wuzui is indeed extraordinary. It's frustrating, right? If Ye Shen wasn't so cowardly, if he dared to stand up, the situation might be different, right? Wu Ziwei sneered and suppressed him, on the one hand to wear down the enemy's fighting spirit, on the other hand to provoke Ye Shen to come out. As far as I know, Ye Shen still has a cannon in his hand. With such an advantage, he still shrinks and dares not come out, so your president is such a person. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, Ba Wang Shi-san. Chapter 246. Hell. Ye Chen had no idea that the guild was facing a huge crisis. He stepped on the black sea of fire and ran forward. Taiwan Novel Network rightward arrow. Soon, he heard fierce dog howls coming from the front. The further he went, the closer and clearer the dog howls were. The front was the territory of the hellhounds. Their roars were very fierce, but in addition to the roars, there were also whimpering screams. Huh? Is there anyone? Ye Chen was shocked. The threshold to enter hell was very high, but it did not mean that no one except him could enter now. Because of the infinite sea of fire under his feet, Ye Chen continued to stay in combat and could not use stealth. At the moment, he could only move forward carefully. There were screams coming from the hellhound area in front, which meant that there was probably someone. Ye Chen also wanted to explore and see who it was. After a while, Ye Chen came to the hellhound area and found that a group of hellhounds, which were bigger than Tibetan mastiffs and more powerful, were fighting with a player whose profession was unknown. Anyone who came to hell was at least a sinner of the abyss demon level. At this moment, the player had a big red name on his head, Zhang Ben. In front of his ID, there was a bracket prefix, Japan. It turned out to be a little Japan. Ye Chen was slightly surprised. Players from different countries all had red names and country prefixes in front of them. Zhang Ben was holding a weapon similar to a dagger and attacking the hellhound in an orderly manner. Occasionally, he quickly formed seals with both hands and sprayed fireballs from his mouth. There was no such profession in the Chinese theater, because it was a profession unique to the Japanese theater, ninja. Fire escape, the big fireball technique. Zhang Ben quickly formed seals, and then opened his mouth and sprayed a huge fireball with a diameter of 3 yards. The fireball, with a burning breath, hit the group of hellhounds in front, causing an explosion, directly killing all the remaining hellhounds, and dropping a lot of hell blood fragments. At this time, countless blood balls rose from the bodies of the hellhounds and crashed directly into Zhang Ben's body, instantly replenishing his HP. Obviously, Zhang Ben is also an abyss demon, and he also has the ability to kill targets and recover blood. Ye Chen looked at him coldly, and Zhang Ben seemed to have discovered Ye Chen's existence and turned his head to look over. Nani, can Chinese people come to such a place? Dream World has opened up the international market, and global players are online at the same time. Considering the different languages of players from different countries, all games have built-in language conversion functions. Because of this, although Zhang Ben spoke Japanese, Ye Chen heard Chinese. Of course the accent and tone would not be converted or changed. At this moment, Zhang Ben looked at Ye Chen with a look of astonishment, and then the corners of his mouth slightly raised, full of disdain. I didn't expect that the Japanese could come here. Ye Chen sneered in response, and Zhang Ben frowned and sneered. In the era of keyboard online games, you Chinese have always been at a disadvantage. Now the times have changed. I also hope that you can become a little stronger, so that I won't have any pleasure when I kill you. After Zhang Ben finished speaking, the two of them looked at each other at the same time, and then attacked at the same time. Ye Chen threw a golden dart, and Zhang Ben threw a shuriken. The two collided through the air, producing fierce sparks, and then fell to the ground exhausted. Roar! The next moment, Ye Chen burst into an impassioned war cry and strode towards Zhang Ben. Breaking Wuju. Blood Blade. Gale Step. While running, Ye Chen activated one buff after another, and then ran close to a hellhound, hit it casually, triggered the shadow attack, and teleported to the back of Zhang Ben. As you said, the times have changed. I will let you know the horror of the Chinese. Ye Chen stood behind Zhang Ben, and while speaking, he stabbed the sharp blood blade into Zhang Ben's back. Puff bang. Zhang Ben's body was pierced, but the next moment his body turned into a piece of wood. Ye Chen's eyes condensed, and he looked to the left as a conditioned reflex, but saw Zhang Ben sneer and complete the last handprint, and then opened his mouth to spit out basketball-sized fireballs. Humph! Ye Chen sneered, holding on to his dominance. He went up against the fireballs, -188, -192, -199. Haha, idiot, do you think I can't see your dominance? I did it on purpose. I have 150 points of fixed damage. Zhang Ben laughed out loud. The so-called fixed damage is the additional damage that ignores defense when attacking. However, he just laughed twice, but felt a pain in the back of his head, and then was forced into a dizzy state. You are the idiot. How do you know that I didn't mean it? Ye Chen curled his lips, and then smiled at Xiao He, who was standing behind Zhang Ben, and walked quickly to Zhang Ben, just about to end Zhang Ben's life with a knife. Suddenly, God Killer Alliance, Guild Channel Base number 1 was destroyed, and our guild has only one base left. Please try to hold on. What? Hearing the information from the guild channel, Ye Chen was shocked. From the first alarm of the attack on the guild base, it has been less than 10 minutes. In other words, their God Killer Alliance can't even stop Myth for 10 minutes. If it was normal, Ye Chen would have accepted it. After all, the current God Killer is far inferior to Myth. Myth's guild level is already LV11, accommodating members. And the God Killer is only LV5, and the number of people is not superior. More importantly, the current guild bases are all of the lowest level, with no defense at all, and only have 100,000 HP. Now that the player level is getting higher and higher, 100,000 HP is nothing without defense, not to mention tens of thousands of sneak attacks and strong attacks. However, the base of the God Slayer in the Snow Village is not an ordinary base. It has a powerful fog array. With such a powerful array, the God Slayer can even overthrow the Myth. How could he lose so quickly and so thoroughly? Is the array broken? Oh, right, the Wind God bag. Ye Chen's mind seemed to have a flash of lightning, and he instantly figured out the reason. However, he missed the opportunity to kill Zhang Ben because of this. Zhang Ben woke up from the dizziness, his face full of depression and astonishment. He couldn't figure out how Ye Chen fainted him. Does he have a long-range, instant stun skill? Zhang Ben thought, and used the instant body technique to jump far away. Ye Chen? I remember your name. You are relatively strong among the Chinese, right? But for my great empire of Japan, you are still very weak. Zhang Ben sneered, bit his right index finger, and then formed a seal, covering the ground with one palm. The next moment, a huge magic circle appeared on the ground, and a large number of flame men holding bows and arrows appeared from the magic circle. This is a summoning skill, the art of spiritual communication. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 247. Ye Chen looked at all the tricks that Zhang Ben used, and felt that they were extremely novel, but now he had lost all his fighting spirit. Now he just wanted to exit hell and rush to Luhe town for support. But when calling to exit, the system sent another prompt: you cannot exit in combat. At this time, the countless flame archers summoned by Zhang Ben moved out quickly. Half of them shot rockets to attack the Hellhound, and the other half chased after Ye Chen. You know, although Ye Chen lost his fighting spirit, Xiao He did not. It was still attacking Zhang Ben madly. Zhang Ben could not see Xiao He and had no idea why he was hurt. But as an abyss demon, Zhang Ben was not an ordinary person. He had extremely strong HP. Xiao He attacked him continuously for several seconds, but he could not kill him. At this time, the flame archers kept shooting the Hellhound, and countless blood cells rose to replenish Zhang Ben's HP value. As a result, Zhang Ben's HP kept rising and falling, but it always remained above 80%. Later, as Ye Chen escaped, Xiao He also left passively. Because even if Xiao He evolved once, the maximum distance between it and Ye Chen was only 20 yards. At this time, Ye Chen had lost his dominance, so he carefully dodged the rockets. At the same time, he had to leave this damn square. Because the square was an infinite sea of fire, and here, Ye Chen would never be able to withdraw from the combat state. Want to escape? It's not that easy. Zhang Ben thought that Ye Chen was afraid of him, so he became rampant and chased him at full speed with the flame archer troops. A few minutes later, Ye Chen returned to the wild ghost, that is, the area of the black and white impermanence. After running for a while, Ye Chen finally left the square, and 5 seconds later, he finally withdrew from the combat state. Calling out the exit interface, Ye Chen pressed it with his consciousness. System, detected that you are still a red name, please continue to atone in hell. What the hell is hell? You need 10,000 sins to enter, and 0 sins to leave. The guild was in a huge crisis, and Ye Chen, as the president, was frustrated that he could not go to the battlefield, and suddenly became hysterical. Run, why don't you run? Zhang Ben chased up with the flame archer team, looked at the distracted Ye Chen, sneered, waved his hand, and shouted loudly, shoot. Bang, bang, bang. The next moment, Ye Chen was drowned by countless fire rains and fell to the ground. But the next second, the resurrection passive was triggered, and Ye Chen stood up again. Ha ha, ha ha ha. Ye Chen laughed wildly and looked at Zhang Ben with a hideous face. Being stared at by Ye Chen's hideous eyes, Zhang Ben's heart trembled inexplicably. When he recovered, he was immediately ashamed and angry, because at that moment, he was actually scared. Die. All of you die. Ye Chen's eyes widened, his face was full of ferocity. The next second, he spread his snake wings and flew up, movement speed at 30%. In the sky, Ye Chen opened the martial arts skills and the blood blade, and pounced on Zhang Ben like a demon. The speed was so fast that Zhang Ben could not react, and Ye Chen came in front of him with a violent aura. Then the blood blade twisted a piece of blood, and Zhang Ben's HP dropped wildly. Zhang Ben was anxious and controlled the flame archer troops to shoot wild ghosts and resentful ghosts behind him to help himself recover HP. So, Zhang Ben's HP dropped rapidly. Once it dropped to the bottom, but it would rise rapidly again and fill up in an instant. Between the ups and downs, Zhang Ben suffered extremely painful mental torture. Ye Chen chopped for more than half a minute, and the negative emotions in his heart finally vented out. He shed a cold sweat and finally calmed down, and then a piercing damage overflowed, ending Zhang Ben's life. Zhang Ben's eyes widened before his death, explaining the shock in his heart. It turns out that this night god has the ability to kill him in one move, so why did he chop himself for more than half a minute? But he will never know this question. Kill Zhang Ben, and the flame archer unit will disappear. Ye Chen sat down with a plop, looking at the equipment, materials, and coins that Zhang Ben dropped all over the ground, revealing a bitter smile. He couldn't rush to the battlefield, so the God Slayer was definitely destroyed. If possible, he would rather not have these things in exchange for a chance to rush to the battlefield, but this is impossible. Battlefield in Luhe Town. A total of more than 20,000 people on the God Slayer side fought fiercely with more than 60,000 mythical troops. This battle was so powerful that it had already attracted countless players and reporters to watch. They stood in the distance, watching the battlefield with raging flames and billowing black smoke, with shock on their faces. The reporter even forgot to take pictures. Hold on. Brothers, do you remember what we promised the boss? Leave it to us. We can't afford to lose now. In the smoke of the battlefield, Tank roared with red eyes. On the side of the God Slayer, the warriors who were originally somewhat passive roared and fought hard. Break through. Find a way to break through. Blow up the base in one wave. On the side of Myth, Wu Zui roared and roared with a solemn face. This battle has lasted for more than 10 minutes. Myth thought it could end in an instant with more than 3 times the number of the opponent. But after the fight, Wu Zui found out how tenacious these enemies were. Must blow them up? This is what Wu Zui was thinking at the moment. The God Slayer was just a new guild, but its cohesion was already bursting, and its combat effectiveness was so strong. If it was allowed to grow, what kind of threat would it be in the future? Kill, the mythology side had already dominated the battlefield and began to force the attack. If the force failed, they could still take away a wave of people. Kill that tank, Wu Zui suddenly roared. He found that although Ye Chen was not there, the tank had replaced the president to some extent. The passionate war cry and the unyielding will actually made the fighting spirit of the God Slayer not diminished in the weak situation. As Wu Zui's voice fell, several bandits attacked the tank in a row, and with the cooperation of the long-range concentrated fire from the back row, they took the tank away in one wave. The tank died, but left behind a golden shield. Wu Zui's eyes bulged. The holy weapon. The holy weapon he dreamed of finally exploded. Haha, good. Keep attacking and blow them up. Wu Zui walked over and picked up the holy weapon, laughing wildly. Woo-ah. About 10 seconds later, an inspiring wolf howl came from the base, and Tank turned into a pitch-black werewolf and rushed out with bare hands. Hey, Tank, that's enough. Monkey and Fatty looked at Tank's iron tower-like back and persuaded him with red eyes. Not only them, almost everyone's eyes were red, and several girls even cried. Now the ending is in front of us. Even if we continue to defend, it will only consume levels in vain. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 248. Bang. With a loud bang, the guild base, which had already been in tatters, finally collapsed under the pressure and turned into debris falling all over the ground. God Slayer Alliance, Guild Channel. The last base of this guild was destroyed and the guild was disbanded. A cold reminder sounded in the ears of all members, and the God Slayer was annihilated. For a time, despair spread. And in despair, there were also the laughter of the winners and the howling of the losers. In any case, the guild carries the dreams of a group of like-minded people, and the dissolution of the guild is also accompanied by the shattering of dreams. On the side of the winner, a proud smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, especially Wu Zui. This time, although he did not abolish Ye Chen, killing the God Slayer was equivalent to cutting off Ye Chen's left and right hands. It would be difficult for Ye Chen to rise again. So far, in the light camp, their myth has finally become a single-handed existence. And on this basis, he also exploded the holy weapon. The entire light camp only has 2 holy artifacts, a black tortoise shield and a black leather coat. Before, they were in the hands of the God Slayer, and Wu Zui was very upset about it, but now it's alright. We won. Wu Zui's solemn expression relaxed, and he looked at the forbidden fruit, Zhijichansha, and others, and smiled for the first time in a long time. At this time, he was in the mood to check the effect of the black tortoise shield. It was indeed powerful, and the former level 15 holy artifact became a level 30 holy artifact. I guessed right, Ye Chen really has some skills that can upgrade equipment. What a monster! Wu Zui narrowed his eyes and handed the black tortoise shield to Zhijichansha, who took it with surprise, and couldn't help but smile on his serious face. Compared with the joy of Zhijichansha, the smile on Wu Zui's face was a little less. The whole army continues to attack. Kill the remaining party. Suddenly Wu Zui roared, and the battle that should have ended started again. About 2 hours later, the God Slayer, no, it should be the former God Slayer army, all died and returned to the city. Bassian, you still have to send people to keep an eye on Ye Chen and do your best to suppress him. Wu Zui said coldly, what's the Ye Chen Legion? Blow them all up. Cut the grass to the root. This is the truth that Wu Ziwei firmly believes. Now he has become the winner, and he will never allow Ye Chen to have a chance to rise again. Hell. 2 hours ago, he also received the information that the guild was disbanded. Although he was prepared, his heart still hurt. But now he is trapped in hell and can't get out, so he can only kill hellhounds crazily to paralyze himself. 2 hours later, he found that he had absorbed a lot of fire energy. You know, hellhounds also have fire attributes, and they are elite monsters. Every time he kills one, a black flame will rise from its body and fly directly into the earring, which is the fire energy absorber. A black flame increases 30 points of fire energy. You know, even if Ye Chen kills a lord boss of the same level, he only gets more than 500 points of fire energy. Now he kills 20 hellhounds at random, and the fire energy absorbed is completely overwhelming. In these 2 hours, with the help of Xiao Hong, he killed more than 8,000 hellhounds in total and absorbed 240,000 points of fire energy. This situation made him feel much better. You know, elite monsters are also rare species, and they are not common in wild areas. Only a very few special maps will have a situation where all elite monsters appear. Hell is one of them, but the monsters in Hell will not drop equipment and coins, and there is no experience. But Ye Chen doesn't care, because he did absorb fire energy. The fire energy contained in those black flames is extremely pure. Ye Chen made a comparison. He killed the same level of fire elite monsters, and the maximum fire energy was 15 points. And the Hellhound is also an elite monster, but it has 30 points of fire energy. 240,000 fire energy in 2 hours. In the past, Ye Chen didn't have that much in a month. To be promoted to Evangelist of the God of Fire Oz, 1 million fire energy is needed. Ye Chen found that this seemed to be within reach. After almost 3 hours, Ye Chen returned to the black and white impermanence area to repair his equipment and unexpectedly found that Zhang Ben was actually slaying wild ghosts in that square. Ye Chen was stunned for a second, and then reacted instantly. It turned out that if you die in hell, you will not go to jail, but you will drop a level and resurrect in hell. You can't go out until the sins are cleared. Zhang Ben was killed by Ye Chen before, and all his equipment was exploded, but at this moment Zhang Ben is still dressed as a ninja, which is obviously a fashion. But he has no equipment, and his attributes are reduced by an unknown amount. The flame archer team behind him, who used to kill wild ghosts in 3 arrows, can't kill them in 1 second even if they focus their fire. This gap is quite large, and the cooling time of the psychic technique is also very long. At this efficiency, it would take Zhang Ben many days to kill 100,000 wild ghosts. Haha, Ye Chen smiled evilly and rushed forward. Originally, Zhang Ben could get out after a few days of hard work, but Ye Chen actually met him, so how could he let him go? Devil! Zhang Ben saw Ye Chen running towards him, and he was so scared that he trembled all over and ran back, but his speed was much slower than before. Ye Chen easily caught up with him and killed him with 1 knife. After Zhang Ben died, some materials and copper coins exploded. After Ye Chen cleaned up, he found the equipment for the black and white impermanence to repair and quickly chased towards the Nehi Bridge. Because he first came to Hell and landed on Nehi Bridge, he guessed that Nehi Bridge was the birthplace of Hell. When Ye Chen arrived at Nehi Bridge, he did not see Zhang Ben. Ye Chen continued to move forward, past Mengpo, and ran to the other side of the bridge. Roar! The roar of the evil calendar came, and Ye Chen passed through the black fog and found countless black and fierce ghosts. The ghosts were red names, but Ye Chen could still see through their information. Ghost, Leader. Level, 38. HP, / Skills. Leader Monster Group, such a hand, except for Hell, I am afraid that no map is so awesome. I really doubt, in Hell, there will be Lord Monster groups. Ye Chen's jaw dropped to the ground, but he did not intend to fight the ghost. What about the leader? There is no equipment or coins, and there is no passion to kill. Of course, killing the leader will definitely reduce the sin value faster, and the explosion rate of hell blood will also be higher. But compared to these two things, Yechen now wants to farm fire energy more. I don't know where that little Japanese ran off to, forget it, let him go. Yechen didn't want to waste time, so he turned around and returned to the Hellhound area again. When he came again, he found that among the countless Hellhounds, a huge beast had been refreshed, the three-headed Hellhound. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 249. That guy is huge, more than 3 yards tall. Countless hellhounds are as fragile as babies in front of it. It has 3 heads, full of a fierce and evil taste. It is actually killing its own kind, and its sharp teeth easily bite through the hellhound's head. Blood and brain pop out, enter its mouth, and drip down along its teeth. Countless hellhounds trembled, only daring to run for their lives, not daring to contradict. Taiwan Novel Network. Rightward arrow. Hell three-headed dog, Lord. Level 39. HP, / Skills. Among the Lord bosses, the Hell three-headed dog is obviously one of the best. Yechen now understands that the special map of Hell will be divided into different areas according to the different levels of players. The monsters in all areas are the same, the difference is the level. Yechen is now level 32, and the Hell he entered is level 30-40, and the Hellhound is level 39. If he enters at level 40, the Hellhound will probably be level 49. In his previous life, the great player who recorded the Hell video was level 86. But the monsters he killed in Hell are exactly the same as the ones Yechen is killing now, which is why Yechen came to the above conclusion. Breaking Wuju. Bloodblade. War Cry. Wind Step. Yechen activated the buff and rushed forward. No matter how strong the Hellhound is, it is only a lord, and the lord is not a big threat to him. Roar. At the same time, the Hellhound also roared, and the 3 heads sprayed black flames at the same time. Because the range was too large, Yechen couldn't hide even if he wanted to, and was drowned by the flames, -575, -632, -598. In one wave, Yechen's HP dropped wildly, and his heart was suddenly trembling. You should know that as the level of Paoju increases, his current dominance is getting stronger and stronger. To be honest, it is no longer under the tank's basalt cover. Note that this is the tank's basalt cover, which means that Yechen's current dominance defense is comparable to 10 times the tank's defense. But even so, the Hellhound can knock down so much of his HP with just one skill. If there is no dominance, wouldn't it be a kill in seconds? No wonder this guy can bite a Hellhound with more than 10,000 HP to death with one bite. What a monster. In terms of damage alone, this guy is comparable to the same level of Gold Lord. In the flames, Yechen sighed secretly. Fortunately, since he got the title of Abyss Demon, his HP has exceeded 4,500 points. Yechen didn't care about the less than 2,000 damage, and rushed out of the flames with a big step, approaching the Hellhound with a lightning-fast run, swinging the blood blade wildly, and one knife could cut more than 3,000 damage. Of course, this damage was caused by Xiao Hei's simultaneous attack. Yechen himself dealt nearly 1,600 points of damage, and the blood-sucking effect of the blood blade was triggered, at 163. Shadow Strike. Blade Storm and Cancel. Yechen's current attack speed is also quite fast. A normal attack can restore more than 160 HP. He slashed 3 times in a row, and before the Hellhound swung its claws, he used Shadow Strike to go around behind it. He turned into a battle gyroscope again, and accumulated combo points after spinning for 1 second. He immediately cancelled the Blade Storm and stabbed the Hellhound's asshole with a dagger. Backstab and final strike. Pierce. Dash. Add 1500. The chrysanthemum was stabbed into the root by the burning red flame dagger, and even a blood light burst out, and was shot through the body. The Hellhound suffered huge damage and burst into a shrill scream. On the other side, Yechen recovered full blood. Earthquake, 3 stars. The three-headed Hellhound was furious, raised its hooves and smashed them down fiercely, and the huge shockwave spread out, which actually made the whole square tremble. -998. Even with Yechen's dominance, he still suffered a lot of damage. If he was not a dominance, he would probably be knocked down by the shock. The three-headed Hellhound quickly turned its head, and black fireballs began to brew in the mouths of its 3 heads. Yechen's eyes condensed, and he attacked while letting Xiaohe run away. 2 seconds later, the three-headed Hellhound was ready, and 3 round black fireballs blasted down like bombs. At the same time, Xiaohe and Yechen exchanged positions. Bang! Accompanied by the explosion, thick smoke and flames overflowed, and faded after half a second. Xiaohe was seen standing in a deep pit, continuing to attack the three-headed Hellhound as if nothing had happened. At this time, Yechen's dominance disappeared, but he did not dare to continue attacking. He retreated in the opposite direction, and soon exceeded 20 yards, pulling Xiaohe to run. Behind him, the three-headed Hellhound chased him relentlessly, chasing and attacking with fire. Yechen ran while still throwing darts to fight back. The darts didn't actually do much damage to the Hellhound, but as long as the damage was maintained, the Hellhound's HP recovery speed would not be too fast. Yechen seduced the Hellhound, delayed for a minute, and started Po Wuju again. During this minute, although the Hellhound was continuously attacked by darts, its total HP did not drop, but increased slightly. Now it still has more than 50,000 HP. Yechen rushed up again, taking away more than 30,000 damage to the Hellhound in one set, and summoned Xiaohong at the same time, and the last burned to death. The Hellhound howled, and its huge body fell heavily, stirring up a flame. Yechen killed it, but he also didn't gain any experience, but this time it exploded a piece of equipment. Yechen was stunned for a moment. Didn't they say that nothing would be exploded except the blood of hell? Of course, this was just his preconceived notion. Now that the equipment was in front of him, he couldn't help but believe it. Hell Boots, Gold Quality /Set. Level 10. Equipment Type, Light Armor. Physical Defense add 138. Strength add 35. Movement Speed add 7%. Oh my god, it turns out that the Hell Suit can be exploded. Yechen's mouth twitched, but he also knew that only lords or even high-level monsters had a chance to explode. Next, Yechen was shocked to find that he had finally exploded a suit, but it was actually light armor, and he could only wear leather armor. Moreover, any suit is generally not tradable, and the Hell Suit is the same. It can't be worn or traded, it's completely useless. Yechen wanted to destroy it, but he held back. Maybe the suit can be exchanged for something with the black and white impermanence. In addition to this set, the Hellhound also dropped a completed Hell Blood and 3 fragments. After Yechen cleaned up, he continued to kill the Hellhound on the spot. Another half day passed, and Yechen's earring suddenly became hot. System, your fire energy absorber has accumulated 1 million fire energy. Congratulations on becoming the preacher of the god of fire Oz, low level. The strongest assassin in the server. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 250. System, you have become a preacher of Oz, low level, fire power add 30 points, fire resistance add 100 points. In addition, for each believer recruited, fire power add 3 points, fire resistance add 10 points. System, Your fire energy absorber is upgraded, maximum capacity, 10 million fire energy. Once it is full again, you will be promoted to a Preacher of Oz, Intermediate. In addition, you need to contribute 10,000 points of fire energy to the God of Fire Oz every day. If you fail the daily task, you will be disqualified as a Preacher. System, you have the authority to issue daily tasks to your believers. System prompts came one after another, and Yechen was stunned. I didn't expect that after being promoted to a Preacher, I need to contribute 10,000 points of fire energy to the God of Fire Oz every day. Tisk, this is really a lot. Fortunately, he now has the authority to recruit believers and issue tasks to believers, so he can just recruit more believers. At this time, his earrings fluctuated, and the sound of a fire dragon came. Boy, you have become a Preacher now, you should be too proud of yourself, right? The fire dragon sneered, but don't forget your promise. When you raise the little phoenix, you need to send it to me so that I can kill it. Absorb its fire energy. Hearing this, Yechen narrowed his eyes deeply, releasing a cold light. He hated being threatened by others the most. But the fire dragon is a strong man in the Holy Land. Yechen is completely defeated now, so he can only endure it and pretend to be submissive. Don't worry, Mr. Fire Dragon, I've always remembered this. Humph, kid, don't try to play tricks. The fire dragon laughed triumphantly, and then said coldly, also, you are out of my jurisdiction now, but don't think about getting rid of me. You are very capable, but all this is an opportunity given to you by me. So, you still need to accept the daily tasks I assign to you. As soon as the voice fell, the system prompt rang in Yechen's ears. System, Preacher of Oz, Advanced, the Fire Dragon issues you a daily task, task conditions, contribute 5,000 points of fire energy every day. Task reward, none. Boy, you can refuse. But I want to tell you that through the fire energy absorber, I can find you at any time and let you die. Ha 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 ha. Yechen could no longer hear the laughter behind the fire dragon, because he had completely gone berserk, his face was gloomy, and his teeth were clenched. This fire dragon is too arrogant. As a high god, Oz only collects 10,000 fire energy every day. He, the fire dragon, is just a small Preacher. He dared to collect 5,000 fire energy from Yechen. When I get up, I will kill you and make you kneel down and call me daddy. Yechen gritted his teeth and roared in his heart with a ferocious face. Before, he never thought that he would be forced into this by an NPC, which made him murderous. Hey! Why haven't I heard that you accepted the task? The threat of the fire dragon came again, and Yechen even felt a hint of sneer in the threat. But even though he was angry, Yechen still accepted the daily task because he had no choice. Well, very good, as long as you are obedient and willing to keep your promise, I will not hinder your development. After the news of the fire dragon came again, Yechen's earrings finally stopped shaking. 5,000 fire energy points are collected every day. Do you think this doesn't hinder my development? Yechen snorted coldly, then took a deep breath to calm down. Next, Yechen ran towards the black and white impermanence area again. There was no way. There were too many monsters in hell. The durability of his equipment was consumed too quickly, and now he had to repair it again. After repairing the equipment, Yechen took out the hell suit and asked black and white impermanence, "You too, I can't use this suit. Can I exchange it for other items here?" The two shook their heads, and white impermanence said, "No, but adventurers, I heard that there is a profession called decomposer in your mortal world. If you decompose this suit, you will randomly generate 1 to 100 hell bloods." Well, thank you. Yechen nodded gratefully and put the suit away again. Then he returned to the hellhound area and continued to kill hellhounds to obtain fire energy. While still in hell, Yechen certainly wanted to accumulate some fire energy to protect his capital. After all, the daily consumption is really high. If one day is not completed, not only will the fire dragon target you, but you will also lose your status as a preacher. More than an hour later, Yechen accumulated 150,000 fire energy, enough for 10 days of consumption. Finally left and continued to explore. You know, Yechen really likes this game and is full of adventure. However, due to his experience in the previous life, there is nothing worth exploring at this stage, but hell is full of freshness for him. It's not easy to come here once, at least he wants to explore it. If there is a chance, I also want to see what King Yama looks like. Not long after, Yechen walked through the Hellhound area and came to a new area. There is no black sea of fire here, but there is an indescribable high temperature. The surface presents a cracked shape, and the bricks are the bright yellow color that is burned to the limit. Yechen walked on the ground and was still burned, which was higher than the black sea of fire, and 42 points of blood were deducted in 1 second. Of course, this kind of burn is also a fire attribute. Yechen's fire resistance is quite high now, so the damage he receives is greatly reduced. If it were an ordinary player, the damage per second would probably be doubled or tripled, but then again, if you can really come to hell, you can't be just an ordinary player. For example, the general, his strength is definitely not bad, and it can even be said to be quite strong. It's a pity that Yechen is stronger and crushed him. Yechen continued to move forward. Not long after, some soft-bodied creatures emerged from the cracks around him. After they completely came to the ground and restored their original appearance, they turned out to be slimes. Hell Slime, Elite. Level 35. HP, / Skills, Fireball, Flame Cannonball, Split. The Hell Slime is undoubtedly a fire monster. It exudes a strong high temperature, burns the air, and can even emit white smoke. Yechen now knows why the surface of this place has become like this, because the Hell Slime has been burning for a long time. For a while, Yechen was surrounded by slimes, and the scorching breath was bursting. Yechen did not dare to neglect it, and took the initiative to kill it together with Xiaohe. The elite monsters posed no threat to Yechen at all. Yechen fought for a few minutes and then left. He rushed out, and countless hell slimes came out of the cracks wherever he passed. In the end, they formed a long line. Tisk tisk, there are really a lot of monsters here, and they are also fire attributes. If I had known, I would not have killed hellhounds before, and it would have been better to kill slimes. Yechen looked back, sighed, and continued to move forward.